What up, YouTube? Today we have the second part, the how to do body work. Last week we did how to fiberglass. This is the second part of it, and we'll show how it ends up. Step 1, peel off the old decal. Step 2, sand the repair area with 80 grit. So in case you didn't already know, fiberglass looks like cloth and matte. This is fiberglass resin. This is fiberglass hardener. So you mix the hardener with the resin, and then you apply it to the cloth, and then you get fiberglass. Alright, here's a little chart here. Today it's about 75 degrees, so it's going to be 71 to 90 range. I'm going to have 12 drops per ounce of resin. Step 3. Apply the fiberglass resin to the hole with a paintbrush. Step number 4. Add the fiberglass cloth or mat to the hole, the repair area, in layers. And be sure to saturate each of the fiberglass layers with the resin. And you can apply as many layers as it needs. Alright, this is what the fiberglass portion of it will look like whenever it's done. Filled in, no bubbles, nice and clean. Step 5, once the fiberglass is dried, sand it down with a DA or a block using 80 grit. Ta-da! And now we're going to make some bondo. Step 6. Mix up bondo or meadow glaze and cover the fiberglass using a spreader. This that I'm using right now is meadow glaze. And you can only see the corner of it, but yeah, that's it. And a cap. Here you go, metal glaze. Some people call it dolphin glaze. And that's the hardener for it. It's basically the same thing as bondo. You can use bondo also. It's just like a finishing bondo. I like to lay the first layer on there pretty thick so you have something to sand whenever you go back. Oh, ta-da! Step number 7, send the metal glaze or bondo down using 180 grit using a DA or block. Now keep in mind it could take several layers of bondo to get the bodywork smooth and level how it should be. So don't be afraid if you have to add another layer. Ta-da! And on to the fun part. Step 8, block with 180 grit using an X or cross pattern until the edges are feathered out. La ta-da! Step number 9, mask with paper and use 2K primer. Now keep in mind you don't want the paper right on the edges like this one is. This was a rare circumstance where I was working in a tight area, so that's why it's so close. Don't do that. Move it out a little bit whenever you're doing it. And when you're doing body work, I always recommend that you do 2 to 3 coats of 2K primer. The first coat light, the second coat, if you're doing a second coat, medium, and then the third coat, go ahead and do a heavy coat. Step 10. Sand down the primer until it's level, uniform, and the edges are feathered down nice and clean. Step 11. Mask and paint over the primer. Step 12. Wet sand and buff. Now keep in mind you don't have to wet sand and buff. I'm doing it in this circumstance because I want it to be nice and flat and seamless for the decal that I'm about to put on here. Step 13, apply the decal if desired. And what I mean by desired is not everybody who's doing body work will have a decal that is going right over it. This guy just got really lucky. The puncture was right in this decal, so I ended up doing all the body work right underneath here, and then I'll do the decal and cover it right up. Yeah, next time I'm going to try to do another video on body work where the body work is a lot more intense, and one that I'm not covering it up with a decal, because, like, what's the point really of showing you how to do body work if I'm covering it up? But anyways, um, hit the like button if you guys found that this video is helpful. Leave me a comment if y'all have any questions, and like always, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time.